Hello and Happy New Year. Welcome to the first episode of an OffBeat podcast of 2021. I am Ashley.
I'm Anthony.
And I'm Eric.
And we are the OffBeat 3. We would like to first start off by saying thank you to everyone who has listened to our previous episodes or liked us on Facebook. We really do appreciate it. Eric, can you let our new listeners know what an OffBeat podcast is and how they can get connected with the show?
Yeah, I'd love to. An OffBeat podcast is a random grab bag of weekly topics discussed by us, the OffBeat 3. Each episode beats to its own drum, hence the name OffBeat. You can get connected with the show on Instagram at an OffBeat podcast, Twitter, and OffBeat, or you can join our Facebook group by searching for an OffBeat podcast.
Thank you.
And also remember to leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
All right. How was everybody's holiday?
It was pretty good. How about you?
It was good. I enjoyed myself, and I think my kids had a good Christmas and enjoyed themselves. Eric?
You know what? I had a really good Christmas, a really good New Year. I am happy to be in 2021 as opposed to 2020. But, on Christmas, it was just good to FaceTime y'all, FaceTime the kids. I haven't seen the kids in quite a bit of time in person, so it was good to see my little nieces and the joy on their faces. And Addison tried to explain to me all the toys that she got. Anaya talking about how she needs what game. What did you get me, Uncle Eric? I'm like, okay, hold on now. Wait, I need my stimmy first. I was going to get it for you. But no, in all seriousness, it was just, it was a good Christmas. I got to see y'all faces, got to see the kids. I wish I could have been there in person to drop off their gifts, but, it was good.
All right, so on the start of this episode, we will start off with the OffBeat headlines. Then we will go into the review of Wonder Woman 84, and we will also do our first article review.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We will wrap the episode up with our OffBeat top 3, and then, of course, the OffBeat fact of the week. All right. Okay. And so it looks like the OffBeat top 3 this week is going to be the top 3 superheroes or villains. Okay, so or villains. That answered my question because I didn't know if it was both. So I only came prepared for superheroes. So I'm glad it's an or thing.
So Eric, are you prepared adequately? Do you have superheroes and villains, or do you just have one?
There's only one superhero that matters. Okay, everybody else literally does not matter, but yes.
So we'll get into this debate a little bit later, and we'll be back with our OffBeat headlines.
And we're back. So we're going to start off with the OffBeat headlines. So one of the first things I think we should touch on is the Georgia Senate runoff and what went on with that. So Eric, I'm going to throw it to you and let you kind of explain a little bit more about that.
All right. So with the runoff, you had Raphael Warnock, who won with 50% versus Kelly Loeffler, who had 49.1%. And then you also had John Ossoff, who won with 50% versus David Perdue with 49%. All right, what's interesting about this race is that Warnock actually won, and he is the first black senator in Georgia. So that's actually a really big deal. There has been a lot of speculation over the last couple of weeks whether the stimulus outcome, if there would be an increase in stimulus or a lower stimulus, if that would actually affect the Senate race, in which I think it did. But one of the things that we need to talk about that really affected the Senate race was Stacy Abrams. Stacy Abrams campaigned very hard to turn Georgia blue, which seems like a very daunting and insurmountable task, but she was able to do it. I don't know what y'all think about Miss Abrams, but she really did the thing, even though she she lost her bid for governor, but she has been more valuable to the Democratic Party
and to the state of Georgia as an individual than a political figure.
Absolutely. So I hope that she is working for, I mean, wherever she wants in the Biden administration or for some big time company as an advisor, because this woman knows what she's doing. Like, absolutely.
I'm sure we'll see good things out of Miss Abrams in the future. This isn't it's nowhere near over for her.
It's
So
just a start.
right. And I want to just say this to anybody who thought, oh, my vote doesn't count and they don't go and vote. I feel this is a direct evident example. If you needed anything to know that your vote counts, look at what's going on right now. I really just want to try to drive that point home to any of our listeners who might have that type of thought. But your vote does count, so get out and vote.
And the importance
on
of
every level.
and the importance of this vote, with Georgia turning blue, it gives the Senate a 50-50 split with, since the Democrats are the incumbent party, they have the overtime vote with Kamala Harris being the vice president. So they have a 51 majority in the Senate right now.
Yeah, that's a good thing. But, hopefully things get done because I think people are tired of more of the same. Now, President Obama had a majority the first time around. And so now that Biden has a majority the first time around, there should be absolutely no excuse to get some things accomplished, the things that he wants to get accomplished specifically in his first 100 days in office. I think that, if they're wanting to do an additional stimulus, that can get passed. Some more relief or medical assistance for underprivileged families, that should get passed. So I just don't want to hear about any excuses. This is an excellent opportunity to undo some of the damage that has been done by the previous administration.
I totally 100% agree with you, Eric.
And it's interesting you bring up the stimulus. About 15 million Americans have had their stimulus delayed due to filing errors with the government sending their money to TurboTax and H&R Block and then getting lost and everything like that.
This second round of stimulus just didn't go. I don't know that they planned this out well. I don't know why they did it differently than the way they did it the last time. Nobody had these issues or complaints with the first round. So, this second round hasn't been fun for anybody. So, I don't know if this is too personal, but Eric, have you got your stimmy?
No, I have not gotten my stimmy. Dupree and I have been making up little songs over the past couple of days about our stimulus. So, no, I have not gotten my stimmy. Donald Trump and Steve Mnuchin need to go ahead and deposit that into my account. Thank you very much.
That's very true. Bubblegum, and this stimulus. When will you hit?
We just wanted to just do.
That's just one of our mini chants.
I like it. Oh, okay.
So coming up this weekend, we have the Reschedule versus battle between Ashanti and Kisha Cole.
Yes.
It was delayed due to Ashanti coming down with COVID-19. We are glad to see that she made it past that and got healthy. Are you guys looking forward to this versus battle?
Yes, I actually am. I mean, I'm interested to see how the ladies do, how they handle themselves, what songs they perform. Well, I mean, I know we already have the list, but just all of those different things. I'm just curious to see how they do as entertainers. They've been locked up for COVID the last, but I mean, I'm sure they've been taking care of their bodies and their vocals, so it'll be interesting to see. So again, that's this Saturday coming up. What's this Saturday?
The 9th.
Yeah. This Saturday the 9th. So you got to catch that. I think it's around 7 or 8 o'clock versus. So, yeah, Eric, are you looking forward to it or are you going to listen?
I have no plans of listening. I already know Ashanti is going to win. So there's no need to go on. Ashanti has more hits than Kisha Cole. She has more features than Kisha Cole. So I'm not really interested in that. But what I am interested is in a potential versus battle between UGK and MJG and 8 Ball. That's what
that'd be good.
Yeah,
it's gonna happen. That's from what I saw. So that might be in the works. Everybody, stay tuned for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I love these versus battles. I mean, it's just cool to see these great artists get together. Aside from Gucci Mane and
incidents and things, we don't want Pukalo mentioned, but bringing up old stuff. So there is that. But since we're talking about a little animosity and a little issues, let's jump to the little Twisted Tea incident that took place. Did y'all see the video?
Yeah, I watched the video.
The Twisted Tea video?
Many times. I've seen it play in real time. I've seen it play the music, everything.
Oh, everything.
I've seen the memes.
It's like the new hide your kids, hide your wife,
right.
or yeah, or something
it's the hottest viral video now, and it's changing everything.
For everybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, the Twisted Tea, I can't imagine anybody listening that doesn't know what Twisted Tea is.
Because the meme has made it to the political stuff right now. But
just in case. So what we're talking about, there was an incident that transpired between a black man and a white man at a gas station convenience store type store, where a white man continuously used the N-word toward the black man. And the black man, told the man just, mind his business, go on about himself. But he didn't listen. And, what next thing you know, the Twisted Tea is going upside the man's head. And then he, beating him up for a little bit. But it was just the point that the man, in a sense, deserved it because he just...
you knew he deserved it by the lady who was recording, and she was like, all right now. After the dude got...
she was like, you got it now.
Like, she admitted...
basically admitting he had it coming.
He had it coming, and then I'm just like, wow, he really hit him with a can of whoop ass.
So all the memes have been
his head.
Hilarious about this Twisted Tea.
Like, people have started painting their guns with Twisted Tea.
Dropping T-bombs over Baghdad.
Right. People have laced up with T vest.
In place of guns now, you go and get the Twisted Tea. I even saw in like a gun ammunition store or something, they had a Twisted Tea in it next to one of the guns, and then it's like 9mm or Twisted Tea. Which one you going with? Sure. So it's been pretty funny. So if you haven't seen it, maybe check it out. I'm sure you could easily do a quick search and just type in Twisted Tea. I'm sure their sales have accelerated as
memes.
Yes, I'm sure
people have taken multiple pictures just with the Twisted Tea.
They went and bought these Twisted Tea.
I should have invested in Twisted Tea. Like, whoever owns it, I should have went to invest as soon as I saw that video.
Man, we gotta be on it next time. Next viral sensation.
Yes.
We gotta get it. All right, so that takes us to our next thing, I guess.
Moving into a little bit more serious topic.
The riots.
Riots, yes.
In D.C.
Yesterday, we had a mini insurrection in Washington D.C., leading into the certification of the electoral votes to certify Joe Biden and Kamala Harris as the next president and vice president of the United States. Leading into this incident, we had President Trump give a rally speech where he basically riled up the crowd, stating, you're not going to change anything by just being quiet. I'm going to march down to the Capitol building with you, where we're going to cheer for our senators to try to get them.
Let's call it he incited a coup. Right? Like, that's what he did. He told him he was going to go with them. He'll be, in the car. He was going to head down with them. And then he did not. When he got in his car, he went back to the White House.
Yeah, he went completely
the
opposite way.
All of it go down and did not put a stop to it at all. And what an embarrassment for this country. What a sad day, once again, for America.
And the rest of the world saw that. And just seeing everything with them breaking into the White House, to the Capitol building, and seeing them get on the Senate floor in Nancy Pelosi's office and things like that. The Confederate flag was brought in the building. They said that building has not been invaded like that since 1814 during the War of 1812 with the Britons.
And let's not avoid the biggest thing, the fact that these people were even able to do that.
They were kind of escorted in.
That was okay for them to do. Had their skin been a different color, I like to believe, actually I know, that would not have happened.
Eric?
So are y'all more upset that the attempted coup happened, or is it the fact that this would not happen if it were black protesters?
See,
it's both for me.
Yeah.
Because it's an embarrassment for the country. It's not even that I'm like upset on that sense. for that piece. I'm embarrassed for the country on that side. And then if I
Mm-hmm.
was to be upset, it would be that these people were able to do that, knowing that people who look like me, anybody of
It'd have been a
they would
sea
not
of
have been able
bodies
to do that. I mean, when you look at what happened with Black Lives Matter and
during
all the
this.
protests during this summer, and just the need for no violence to even happen
I'll give
at
you
these
this.
peaceful protests.
I'll give you this
And
example of in the summer during Black Lives Matter. President Trump cleared out the square to take a picture in front of a church with an upside down Bible. He cleared the square out in 7 minutes with tear gas and everything. You cannot tell me that you guys could not have cleared the Capitol Square expeditiously with these people.
Yeah, I'm seeing reports that they were saying that they needed 4 times the amount of police. And then also the chief of police, I guess he is actually resigning, which he should, because that was
definitely should.
I agree.
it was an
They were,
inept job.
yes.
It was so
He got
silly.
one speaking this morning. I saw him on CNN earlier today, and I just knew. I'm like, if they don't ask him to resign, he's going to get fired. Like, if somebody called for his resignation or called for him to get fired,
Nancy Pelosi did.
that's who it was. Yeah, and so I knew it was a matter of time, and I'm sure he woke up and knew it this morning too. Like,
Of course.
maybe he thought Trump was going to come to his rescue.
President Trump left Pence to the lions in a sense. Because they said he didn't check on Vice President Pence this whole time when everything was going on. Like, after Vice President Pence came out and said, I'm going to do the right thing with the certification, I'm going to certify the next administration as is my duty, Trump went in on him on Twitter and then just left him to the wolves.
I find it funny now everybody's jumping ship. Like, what is it, 14 days before he gets
12 now.
12 days before he gets, like, everybody's jumping ship. Like, I don't know.
It makes me feel, and then
better late than never, I guess. I don't know.
moving
It's
further.
crazy though. It's crazy though, because it was Pence that actually brought in the National Guard. It wasn't actually Trump. So that's President Trump. I mean, it's just crazy to me that this actually
People close
happened.
to him, yeah, people close to him, his advisors, everybody said that he
enjoyed watching
didn't
it on
do
TV.
anything.
They
He
said
didn't want to
he
do
enjoyed
anything.
it. He enjoyed watching it on TV. And he did not condemn them. Like yesterday when he came out with the video, he didn't condemn the behavior or anything. He said, we love you. He said, you want to respect law enforcement. He didn't tell them to go home immediately or anything like that. Now today he released a video of him saying that I accept that it's going to be a new transition. It's going to be a new administration and everything like that. But it's a day late and a dollar short. Just
Yeah.
like all the security and everything around it now. It's like, where was this at yesterday? When the Black Lives Matter protest was going on and they knew it was going to happen, they had that city locked down in July.
And then for the fact that these people are not even locked up and they have pictures of these people,
They're
they
acting.
know who these people are. They know all of that. And it's just okay for them to be free and to live their lives just as easy as it was for them to walk in there and cause all the devastation that they did in the Capitol. People died. People got hurt.
4 people lost their lives in this attempted coup.
4 people? I thought there was
Yes.
one lady though.
Well, one lady got shot and then 4 other people died, maybe got trampled or something like that. But it's been reports of 4 people.
Okay.
And the arrest records are piss poor. Like as of right now, they said about 68 people have gotten arrested, and it's more or less for violating the curfew instead of the acts of sedition and things like that. But the people who they have pictures of in the Capitol building, and the desk, the Buffalo guy, the guy sitting at Pelosi's desk and stuff like that, they can find them, and the acts of sedition and stuff like that, the statute of limitations on them are quite long. So anybody who has broken any laws or went against anything and they have on video, they will arrest them.
Right.
I mean, there's a lot of things. I mean, I know the one guy that was in Pelosi's office.
Mm-hmm. He stole
like a letter or something.
Yeah, and he was displaying contents on Facebook.
Yeah, he bragged about what he took and everything. So.
That's a federal crime, right? Tampering with mail. So.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. I guess we'll just wait and see if they do anything at this point. I mean, they didn't do anything. They didn't act at that time, so I'm not sure that they're really going to do much now. I mean, maybe in 12 days. I don't know. And now, they're calling for his impeachment again. And
they're calling for them to use a 25th Amendment to have him removed from power immediately. And it's interesting that he's thrown Pence to the wolves. and Pence is the only one. He has the power to save him right now. Pence is the person who can enact the 25th Amendment, which will remove him from office, and this will be the first time in U.S. history that would have happened.
Yeah, that's not
Well,
going to happen. They're
yeah,
not going
I
to
Nope.
do
don't think he's gonna do that.
And I don't
And
think
I
the
just hope
impeachment's
that
going to
I
happen
hope
either.
that it's just no need for stuff like that to happen. I just hope that at this point, enough people are like, dude, just move on, move on. And yeah. So I think, on that note, let's move on. So we'll pick up with movies and some article reviews, some things we're watching, maybe when we return. So, all right, we'll be right back. This episode of an OffBeat podcast is sponsored by an OffBeat Production LLC. All right, we're back. Okay, so Wonder Woman 84. What did you guys think? Eric, I'm going to start with you. What did you think of Wonder Woman 84?
You sure you want to start with me? We can get it started. I did not like Wonder Woman 84.
Why didn't you like it?
Look, I was so excited to finally view my HBO Max on my 50-inch TV, only
Oh
to
shit,
see this bomb on television. It was horrible. It was poorly paced. It didn't really make a lot of sense. It was nonsensical on so many levels. I did not like the fact that Steve Trevor came back. That just really minimized his death in the first one. But I want to just say that I really enjoyed the first movie. I think Patty Jenkins did a great job directing the first movie. The first movie was great up until the third act. This whole movie, no, it's just nonsensical and it's just not fun. I did not like Kristen Wiig's character, Cheetah. I thought her character was going to be a lot different. I think the advertising for the movie makes it seem like she's going to be this big bad in the movie, but she really isn't. And then the way she becomes Cheetah is a little bit silly and different from the comics as well. Pedro Pascal. We all love Pedro. We've seen him in The Mandalorian, and all three of us, we've seen him as Prince Oberyn in Game of Thrones, and he did an excellent job in that one. But this one, he was just like so goofy.
I agree with you. It's like the story was very stale and stagnant during the whole movie. Like I watched the movie twice, and both times when I watched it, was like, okay, this doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And like the Steve Trevor death, and the fact that it had to be explained on the back end that this was a reflection. Only she can see him as that form, and everybody else saw him as something different. Like that didn't make sense. I really didn't enjoy the ending. How about you, Ash?
I will agree with you guys on a few of those things. Like, there were points where I felt like they could have wrapped it up. I kind of thought it was ending. There were things that I did like about it. I'm not going to say I enjoyed the beginning. I liked seeing her when she was a little girl and coming in.
Yeah,
like,
that part was
I thought that was really
Absolutely.
cool. And from that part, though, I felt the movie was going to head in a different direction. So that didn't really.
Like a coming of age movie.
Yeah, or something like
because
that.
That's how it pulled me in with the commercials and everything.
Yeah, so there was just some different things that it just didn't lead me to where I thought I was going, I guess. But I did enjoy some of the action scenes and some of the different things that we got to see about her life in the beginning. And then, I mean, to see her Wonder Woman broken down and just all, I don't know how I felt about the plot of it all. It was kind of a waste. Some of it.
And I would say with giving Steve Trevor's his resurrection in the trailer, and then you give away the biggest thing of the movie. Like that was something like if I would have saw it in the movie, I would have had a different feeling. But now it's like, okay, why is he back?
I wish that he wouldn't. The other guy, Oberon. I wish that he wouldn't have consumed the item. Not to give it away, or anything, but that part was just like, well, I don't know.
Makes him a worse villain.
Yeah, I just wanted it to stay tangible. I guess it had the mummy vibe or something to me. Like, all right, I don't know. I felt like I wanted it to be a tangible item, and I don't know. They weren't able to restore it or to hide it or to do anything.
I understand.
To wrap it up, like.
So with this recent fumble, do you guys think DC can make a credible comic book movie?
I think so. They did it with Wonder Woman. I think people forget that DC was on the downtrend when before Wonder Woman 1 came out. And
Hmm.
then it was Patty Jenkins in that movie that resurrected interest in DC because, I mean, let's face it, Batman v Superman, uh,
Yeah, that was trash.
yeah, all those movies, the Justice League
Justice
movies,
League was
they
trash.
weren't good.
Suicide Squad trash.
Right. And so she did an excellent job with the first movie and what she brought to the table and what she did for the overall DCEU. Uh, I am confident that going forward, the movies will still continue to do well. I'm very excited about the Flashpoint movie, the new Batman movie coming out. And then there's also going to be an additional Batman movie, which has never been done in cinematic history. So there's going to be two concurrent Batmans
Bad
at the same time.
universes.
You're right. So that's going to be really interesting. Even Marvel hasn't done anything like that.
No.
So,
I
so
think that DC, to me, DC's best superhero movie was Shazam so far. Like, I feel like Shazam, it was a complete storyline. It was funny, it was fast, it was good, it was well paced, and it gave you a complete story that makes me want to actually see the sequel. Aquaman, it had a good storyline, but the graphics kind of took me out of it. Like, the overly used CGI water and his suit, the CGI suit on Aquaman, but the storyline was good. But the rest of the movies, I don't have faith in DC to make good movies. Like even with Gunn doing Suicide Squad 2, I don't think that's going to be a good movie.
I think it will be. I think it's going to be in line with Guardians of the Galaxy. I think they'll do fine. Do I think they'll be better than Marvel? No, but I think they have an opportunity to really right the wrongs of the past. But unfortunately, Wonder Woman 84 is not a good movie. Overall, I think I would rate Wonder Woman like a 4 out of 10. It was that bad. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I give it the good 6 out of 10.
I'll give it probably a 7.
A 7. Okay, so you liked it fairly well then.
Yeah, and partly because of my feelings about women leads and cinema. So, and there's not that many women superheroes really when you think about it
That's very
compared to
true.
the male superheroes. So
Hmm.
I'm not going to take that away from Gail Gadot. Is that how you say her name? I don't know how you say her.
Gia Gadot.
Oh, I don't know.
Her name is
Okay.
Gal Gadot, right? Or
Uh,
Gal Gadot.
I see.
Gal Gadot.
We are all
That's
off.
what
I
I
thought it was
said.
good.
Gail
I
Gadot. He
thought it
said
was good.
Gia
I
Gadot.
thought last time was like Gadot.
I think it's actually Gadot, but
The
I don't
beautiful
know.
woman that plays Wonder Woman, if you're wondering who we're speaking of. You can look up her name and figure out the pronunciation yourself. But yeah, I enjoy her. I like how she acts. I like her as an actress. And I like her in that role. So
She does.
I guess I give the movie extra points because I'm biased toward my feelings toward women
She outshines the
superheroes and things
movie.
like that and her. So
Okay, I get where you're coming from.
that's where I'm gonna come from, being the woman voice in this situation. So, okay, so let's move on. I think since we're on the subject of superheroes, let's do our offbeat top three.
Let's go. Let's
All
go
right.
for it.
Okay, so the offbeat top three, you needed to choose either 3 superheroes that are your favorite or 3 villains that are your favorite, I guess,
Or a
or
combination of both.
however you wanted to do it. So, I guess I'll start off.
Yeah, you kick
Okay.
it off.
All right, so for superheroes,
Now, is this the order you have them in, or is this like?
it's just spouting them out, not really in order.
Okay.
Okay, so Captain Marvel, because she's pretty cool. I like her.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have Thor, because I really, really like Thor. And then you have Iron Man. And then Jason, I didn't mean to say Aquaman.
She means Jason Momoa's Aquaman. That's what she means. Because Aquaman, the normal Aquaman, nobody likes. He sucks. He only talks to fish.
Hey, you better mind your tongue now.
That's the only reason why women love Aquaman now. Like, if you look at anything, Robot Chicken makes Aquaman seem so weak. Like, come on, you guys, just do what I asked you to do. Just fall out the water.
Okay, well, that was back in the day now. Jason Momoa does great. Now, I really like him in that role. Okay, so maybe
You just like
it
Jason
is just him.
Momoa.
Okay.
It's a Jason Momoa thing. That's what it is.
Well, I said the three at first. So you have your Captain Marvel, your Thor, and your Iron Man.
Eric.
And the famous words of Dave Chappelle's skit, Dylon, Dylon, Dylon. Batman, Batman, Batman. Okay? Batman is the greatest superhero, and there's no need for any others.
So when you say Batman, 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 are you saying Batman, Batman, Batman is in...
Like Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice?
Like each person that played Batman, like Batman, that one, yep, Batman, that one, yep, Batman.
I'm just saying Batman in general, but I'm just being facetious. So I would say Batman, Iron Man, and Spider-Man.
Okay. And who was your favorite Batman?
Out of all of them, if we're talking animation, it would be Kevin Conroy because he's had the longest tenure. But if we're talking live action, it would be Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton has been the best person to pull off the Batman character as well as the Bruce Wayne character. The issue, a lot of people don't understand that Batman is the character, Bruce Wayne is the disguise. They think it's opposite. They think that Bruce Wayne is a character and Batman is a disguise, but that's not the truth. The other Batman have been fine, but I think the duality was really done well by Michael Keaton because it was very subtle with it. He didn't have the overly synthesized or gruff voice. He was very unassuming as somebody who would play Batman, and I like that.
He was smooth.
Yeah, he was smooth. And don't get me wrong, Christian Bale did a really good job as Bruce Wayne.
He put the towel on and started talking.
Yeah, that's what did it. And Ben Affleck did a good job as well. But my personal preference is Michael Keaton, which he is coming back.
Ben Affleck did a good job as Batman.
I think Ben Affleck did an okay job as Batman. I don't think he did a bad job.
I think in Justice League, him being old Batman, like that was good, but versus Superman, I didn't like that portrayal of Batman.
Well, that was because I think Zack Snyder had a different take on Batman, and it made Batman look like an idiot, to be quite honest, to not be the detective that he truly is. And there was really no explanation or setup to the justification for Batman's actions. So that kind of threw people for a loop, and I think people really kind of moved away from liking that interpretation. But I am excited, once again, to see Ben Affleck reprise his role as Batman in the Snyder Cut as well as in the Flashpoint movie. But like I said, most importantly, I'm excited for Michael Keaton to be coming back as Batman in the Flashpoint.
The Flashpoint, yeah.
Do you have any villains that you like?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Joker. What were you about to say? Dr. Evil?
No, I said top three.
Oh, okay. Top three, the Joker. That's just my favorite villain. And then Brainiac from Superman, I think, is an excellent villain. And then I would say as an antagonist, but not necessarily a villain, Magneto from X-Men. I think a lot of people misinterpret
Let's do something straight. Magneto's a villain.
Magneto is an antagonist.
He becomes an antagonist. He has a villain arc. He becomes an anti-hero eventually. If you look at his arc, he wants to kill the Nazis and he wants to kill Xavier. Then he becomes benevolent and he wants to be friends. It's the old age thing. But he's more or less, he's a villain. The leader of the Brotherhood of Evil.
Okay, well, who are your top three villains then?
Oh, well, my favorite superhero is Batman.
I said villains.
My top three villains, Joker, Magneto, and Thanos. Thanos from the comic book, because the Thanos in the MCU, he kind of looked weak. Because Thanos in the comic book, he doesn't do things to balance it out. He does it for the love of death. Mm-hmm. Like he's in love with the human embodiment of death. So when he wipes out half the universe, it's because he's trying to impress her. Mm-hmm. It's not because he's trying to restore balance or anything. He doesn't care about that. And Thanos in the comic books is much more ruthless and everything than he was in the movie and how they portrayed him. I like the Joker. He's just crazy. They don't have a true origin for the Joker. He's not, his villainy is nonsensical. He does whatever he wants. It's at his whim. He's like a dog just chasing a car. He doesn't know what he wants to do when he gets to the car, as Heath Ledger said, but he wants to chase the car.
Favorite Joker?
Mark Hamill from the animated series. If I have to pick a person to do it, live action, it would be Heath Ledger.
Same here. That was the only correct answer.
That is the only correct answer.
All right. Okay.
So who are your villains? You own the access.
No.
And you don't have to be limited to the comic books. All villains,
I told you at the beginning that I did not even have anything planned for superheroes. I mean, for villains. Only came with superheroes. Okay, let me think about it. I'll think on it and see if I can come up with at least one villain that I really, I guess, like. I don't know.
All right. Oh, really?
What are your superheroes? Who are your superheroes?
It will be Wolverine. It would be Batman, Wolverine, and probably Venom.
Okay, so you're saying Venom is a superhero and not an anti-hero.
Venom is gray. He's an area of gray. He's like Deadpool.
Okay.
Area of gray.
All right.
Magneto's not in the area of gray.
Magneto is your interpretation of Magneto.
Okay, it depends on which iteration. Yeah, you're right. Iteration of Magneto. Like if we go with the '92 animated series, he's a villain. Up until
I wouldn't even say he's a villain in the '92 series because I mean, when you think about it, what he did with like Genosha and all that, he really just had a fundamental like just disagreement with Charles on how mutants could obtain autonomy and their rights. Now, Charles wanted to go the peaceful route, and Magneto was like, "No, I'm going to take what's mine. I'm going to take my rights."
So essentially, the same argument that Dr. King and Malcolm X had.
I mean, those are the characters they were based upon. So, absolutely.
So, with that being said, I would have to pull Magneto off, and I'll put Liquid Snake on there. No, Revolver Ocelot.
So
okay.
Looking at this again, I think I have my villains. At least I have two villains. Lord Voldemort.
Okay.
And Bane. Because he's funny.
Yeah. Tom Hardy's Bane.
Yeah, Tom Hardy. I guess we could jump into that then. What are we watching? Because you put us on Peaky Blinders last time for the last episode. I don't know if you listened to the last episode. If you didn't, you should go ahead and listen. But yes, Eric told us about the Peaky Blinders.
The Peaky Blinders.
And we've been watching it. And it's really good. I'm hooked.
We're in episode.
Cillian Murphy. I know it's Killian, but I call him Cillian. Eric, so don't try to correct me.
Season 3.
Yes, we're in season 3 already.
Yeah, we're in season 3 already.
Oh,
you guys got fast.
Yes, and Tom Hardy is in it, and he's
hilarious. And like Eric said, he does steal every scene that he's in.
Yes.
He absolutely does steal every scene that he's in. But since you're in season 3, the funniest scene and the best scene that he's in is in that season. So, it's coming up. Just wait. It's hilarious.
I wonder if you're talking about the one with the bomb.
No.
No, he said it's a funnier scene than that. Yeah.
Okay, that's okay. Cool. So yes, if you haven't started watching it and you need a show, go ahead and check out the Peaky Blinders. Another show that I binged actually over the holiday was the Bridgertons. So I don't know if you guys kind of like Pride and Prejudice, stuff like that. But it's kind of like that. So if you want to check that out, that's on Netflix too. So both of those shows on Netflix: Peaky Blinders, Bridgertons. Check it out. If you want to let us know what you think, you can always write on our page. We have a Facebook group, so you can write in there. I know that our conversation is going on in there, so check that out too. Okay, so I think this is a good chance for us to kind of go toward the article that you guys were going to discuss about the guys. There's a No Game Days article, Washington Post. They They posted it. It was actually written by, I'm going to pull it up here just so I can give you guys a little bit of the backstory on where the article came from. But yeah, the Washington Post, the lady, let's see here, what's her name? Samantha Schmidt. That's her name, is a reporter covering gender and family issues for the Washington Post. And she did basically kind of, I guess this would be a gender study on males and friendships. So I guess I'll let you kind of tell a little bit more about what that was, Anthony, here. And then Eric, I guess you can chime in when you want to, add to the conversation. So.
All right, the article is titled No Game Days, No Bars. The pandemic is forcing some men to realize they need deeper friendships. And the article takes a viewpoint of three gentlemen and how their lives have changed, their friendships have changed due to the pandemic, and how they realize that their friendships are not as deep as they think that they are. Like one guy has went through a breakup with his girlfriend, and his friend has not asked him about the incident or anything, and he's going through the pandemic. Another guy is he's going through withdrawal from not going to be able to go to sports bars. And the article just gives a deeper viewpoint on how, as men, we don't seek out the deeper connections with each other, and how we use sports or something else as the overlaying aspect to be connected to another guy. And I felt that it was an important read and an important thing to share on Facebook and with you, Eric. And I want you to give everybody your viewpoint on this article.
The one word that jumps out to me the most when I read this article was vulnerability.
Mm-hmm.
Vulnerability as a man, and how we need to get in touch with that side of ourselves, particularly because of the society in which we live. A lot of times, men being susceptible to their feelings and trying to process their emotions, a lot of times that can be seen as weak or non-masculine, or in some ways people consider that quote unquote gay, and that's not true. You need to be in touch with those emotions and that longing for friendship, and trying to reach out to your brother, your friend. Well, I say your friend as your brother or whatnot in your time of need. That's really important. And the pandemic really has shown people who their friends are, who their
You're
true
right.
friends are.
You're right, because I just think about you and I and how our friendship is not a traditional friendship, as the article pointed out, because we have a deeper connection. You're the godfather of one of my kids. My kids call you Uncle Eric and everything, and we talk to each other on a daily basis about everything, personal life, all of that stuff. And I read the article, it was like, wow, it made me analyze some other friendships that I have, and made me think about, like, hey, are they friends, or are they more like acquaintances that we are like more or less ships in the night? And did we just use college or sports to stay connected throughout all these years?
No, because the funny part about it, and I talk to you about this all the time. I'd say, back in college we used to talk about, the parties, the girls and stuff like that. But now we talk about the high price of bacon, or where we can get the best diapers from.
Air fryers.
Right. So I mean, our friendship has definitely seen an evolution, and there has been a growth. So, that's something that I really appreciate. I think that a lot of times when people think that they have a friend that's not really a friend, you'll see the conversations be sparse and be really contained to these game days or sessions where they might be playing, I don't know, PlayStation, or go out to a bar or whatnot. But you and I, we talk every day. We talk about, everything that goes on with each other. We talk about how, your wife is, the kids are, do they need anything, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Hmm.
throughout this time, we have been looking out for one another. And, I've been stressed out over the past couple of months because I'm thinking my son is going to have surgery. But, luckily I found out that he was not going to have the surgery that one doctor thought he needed. And, you've been checking up with me along the way. And, that's really helped me out because, it's something that has been really weighing me down. And I'm thinking, through the pandemic, how isolated I am. Even
Mm-hmm.
if he does have to have surgery, how am I really going to get the help that I
Yes.
need from family and friends if, he's already an immunocompromised child? He's going to have surgery, and then, he'll be in a weakened immune state. So,
Mm-hmm.
I can't have people in and out the house. I mean, so, it's just amazing how you learn who your real friends are in the time of need, crisis, et cetera, et cetera.
And I definitely think during COVID, everybody has kind of
Seen that.
seen that. Even if it's just checking up on a friend and seeing how they're doing and stuff like. I think it became so easy to become complacent last year, just doing your own thing and not really thinking about other people.
And I think this article can speak beyond just men and speak to both genders, because I feel like during this whole pandemic, both genders have started to realize and reevaluate friendships and started to cut people out of their lives who are only there when they need something or things of that nature. Ashley, do you have anything about to comment on the article? I know you read it as well.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I thought that part was interesting, and then just that the fact that it's all coming to light during COVID, like that big piece of it all is that everybody's realizing who your real friends are during that time. Um, I don't know that discovery and the fact that you guys don't open up to each other outside of, I guess, to men in general don't open up to each other outside of kind of seeing each other in
Mm-hmm.
games and like football games and just those typical manly conversations.
Softball.
You guys aren't
Mm-hmm.
really having conversations about, well, how's your marriage?
And those, like they said, like you said in the article, those details kind of slip in
right.
during conversations, and where it's not like a straightforward, like, "Hey, I'm having a hard day," or "This is going
Right.
on."
Or this is like my whole life has been turned upside down, and I'm not telling you about it, but I feel like those things need to happen, just for mental sanity, mental clarity, too. Just being on the same page. You don't want to think that somebody's in a different position than what they're in. You're assuming and not really knowing, and just different things like that. And it's not going to be completely your fault. It's also their fault for not, really inviting you in. I'm glad that you and Eric. I was telling Anthony, I'm glad that you guys have that relationship. So really, parts of that article doesn't necessarily go toward him fully, because you do have a good friend like that you
Mm-hmm.
connect with and can have those conversations with. But a lot of men are seeing that they don't have that necessarily if they're not able to go to a bar and hang out or come over their house and hang out. But I think that just speaks volumes to you guys having a long distance friendship for so long, and in the way that you guys became friends long distance, like. So yeah, a little different for you guys, but for other men, I think this is just shine some light on that. You had people comment
Yes,
on, you posted it in
and
a few groups.
I was going to lead you to this question. One of our listeners, let me pull this up. Of course, Facebook takes you all the way off the comments you were on. Jabari Swift, he disagreed. Jamal Swift, I'm sorry, disagreed with the article, and he said that when you have a wife, you you kind of don't have the need for a best friend, because that person is involved in every aspect of your life. And to an extent, I agree with him with that, and disagree with the article. But I also thought about, yes, I have my wife, who's also my best friend, but I also have my male best friend, who I take issues that I can't talk to my wife about to, or things that may bother me. And I understood both points.
Or issues that you're complaining about your wife about.
Yes, and you know all about them.
What type of issues are those, Eric?
Those
Oh,
that
he
stay in the
says
black
nothing,
box.
but he has no issues with you, though. He's always like, "Oh, Ashley is this wonderful person. I'm so blessed to have her." And I'm like, you know what? You really
Right.
are. Now let's get on this price of bacon, bro.
Right. More like video games and yeah. Anyways, we're gonna keep on going. All right. I think this is a good time to take a quick little break. I think that's a good wrap up. So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. At this time, the Offbeat Podcast would like to take a moment to acknowledge the families of two great men that we lost over the last 2 weeks.
Our hearts and prayers are with the families of Larico Martin and Vernon Jones of St. Louis.
All right, and we're back. So I think we should get to the wrap up now at this point. So let's start off with our offbeat fact.
The ancient Babylonians are said to have been the first people to make New Year's resolutions over 4,000 years ago. And 80% of Americans will have failed their New Year's resolution by February. And that was an offbeat fact.
Okay. Well, where are you at with your New Year's resolutions? Let's go there.
I started doing financial research to become more financial literate this year. I try to taper down my attitude, but I don't know how that's going. You can tell me more or less about that. How about you?
But I think I still have some work to do, but I'm not giving up. I think we're still in the first
We haven't made it past 10
Okay,
days.
right. So it's been a week. Okay, well, I still got time. My birthday's coming up, so I got a little time, and I'm gonna get on them. But yeah, I haven't really started most of my goals, especially the health goal. That's the one I need to get on, doing some more exercising. I need to just start small, maybe do some push ups here and there, some sit ups,
Well, since you heading back to the office,
something like that.
take some steps. Walk outside, walk around the parking
Had to
lot.
bring that up, huh?
What about you, Eric? How are your resolutions going?
My resolutions are going fine. So far, I'm just, as a 30 mid 30 year old man, I'm trying to be more accountable. One of the lessons that I've learned in the past couple of years is it's not about right or wrong. It's about doing the right thing. So I'm going to take that going forth into 2021, as well as, I'm just going to also not do as much procrastinating. I have been a serial procrastinator ever since the age of like 12 or 13. And that is something that I really want to get rid of. I want to make sure that I put one foot in front of the other and just keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, with that being said, a lot of people have made financial resolutions this year. Eric, do you have any advice you can give the people?
Yeah, Eric, I was wondering because you're pretty smart, right? So we figured, hey, Eric can do the financial minute. All
I
right,
can't.
so this is your moment, Eric. So we're gonna go ahead and go with the offbeat financial minute with Eric.
Okay, well, I can't necessarily give advice, but I did want to try and educate people on emergency funds. Okay, so this will be brief, but if you all have any more questions, you all can chime in and uh, write us, and we'll be more than happy to answer. But I want to talk about emergency funds. An emergency fund for Americans is typically around $1,000. Now, this was prior to the pandemic, so that has probably increased, but we have not gotten the recent data yet. But we should have that data pretty soon. Now, emergency funds vary. They vary on lifestyle, monthly expenses, income, and dependents. And dependents are children, dependents are foster children, dependents are maybe parents that you may, in fact,
Mm-hmm.
take care of as well. But, unfortunately, Americans tend to rely on other means of savings, okay, in case they don't have savings. So 37% of Americans would be able to tackle $1,000 bill essentially. But then you have people who actually no, excuse me, 41% would be able to tackle a financial bill of $1,000 or more. However, you have people that are in the 37% category percentile that actually would not be able to. They'd have to take out a personal loan, which the average interest rate is 10%. Not good. You have or credit cards, which are definitely not good, which you have a 17.3 APR. Or a lot of times, I mean, you and I, we've all been there. You ask a family member or a friend. There's nothing wrong with that, but it does call into question how we are able to save as a society. But those are larger issues that we'll address, further down the line. Now, let's talk about how to save. One of the best ways to save is to put away 3 to 6 months of worth of expenses. And I'm going to be honest with you all, that's really hard. I'm not even going to make any qualms about it, pick any bones about it. That's really hard. But there are ways to start. Small ways. You do a small, gradual build up to creating a robust savings account. But you want to probably set up an automatic transfer in your account, because if you do that, whether it's $5 or $10 out of a
Hmm.
paycheck, then you don't even see that money, and it automatically goes to a savings account. But with that savings account,
Can you give us an example of what those expenses might be that people should actually add up to figure out what that
oh,
amount should look like for them individually?
sure, car repairs, maintenance for your house, utility bills, also food, um, rent. These are really important. And then also you have healthcare costs associated. If you have kiddos, you need to make sure that you have money for medicine, and then medicine for yourself. You have to be able to take care of yourself in order to take care of your kiddos. So a lot of people don't think about that. So there are a lot of varying factors that go into these expenses. So I mean, there are more to go into, but those are really the main ones. And so when you do set up the savings account, like my uncle told me what I did, I'll just say what I did. Um, the automatic transfers, that's something relatively new, because when my uncle first started telling me to save, he just said save 20% of your check. A lot of people can't do that. But now, like I said, with the automatic transfers, you can. And then you also want to look for a high yield option with interest rates on your savings account, so you can get a better return.
Hmm.
So those are kind of the things that I would do for myself. And I think an emergency funds are absolutely critical, especially what's going on with the pandemic. There's no shame in not being able to save, considering the pandemic. We got to take into account the uh, rapid rise in unemployment. But when you can, try to do it. Try to start uh, good habits going into the new year. I know I'm going to do a better job at saving.
Same here.
That's what we're planning to do too
Right, right.
this year. So I think that's on a lot of people's minds and plans for the new year. I just kind of watching social media and seeing what people are posting. Like a lot of people have that same mind frame of just getting better financially, and then financial literacy
Hmm.
being a big thing. Just figuring out and knowing what you need to do. So that's why we wanted to add that moment to the Offbeat podcast. Eric, is there anything else you want to add?
You know what? Like I said, I just want people to understand that don't feel bad if you can't. I understand there are tough situations going on. You're more worried about the food on your table, where your next meal is going to come from, your next paycheck, et cetera, et cetera. But
Hmm.
when you're able to be put in that position, try to do it, because it will be very beneficial for you and your family, and it will help with the mounting bills.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Well, I think that about wraps up the show. Anybody have anything else they want to add or bring up? Any topics we didn't discuss that you guys were like, oh, I forgot to bring that up?
No, I just want to tell everybody to like us on Facebook, subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, leave a review on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, reviews are important. So if you guys want to get in touch with us, you can always message us on Facebook. If you want to just write on the page, you have that option too for our podcast group. And then, of course, share it. If you want to have more people, we do want to have more followers. We do want to get more subscribers. So definitely share it. So, yeah, thanks for listening. We hope that your new year is going well and continues to go well. So, yeah, thanks. And I am Ashley.
I'm Anthony.
And I'm Eric.
And that has been the Offbeat Podcast. This episode has been brought to you by an Offbeat Production, LLC.